Hey friends, I hope you're having a great day today. I'm going to paint a cute little tufted titmouse. This reference photo is on unsplash.com. I'll link it in this video's description. Isn't that a pretty photo? I always get glare. Sorry about the glare. I'm going to paint it on a little 5" by 5" cradled wood panel from US Art Supply. I put clear gesso on it the other day. It's 1.5 inches thick. Here's what the clear gesso looks like. I'm going to use primary colors and pretty much follow the reference photo. Take color cues from the reference photo. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, let's set the table. I've got titanium white, cad yellow medium hue, quinacridone magenta, phthalo blue, and Mars black. They're all Liquitex basics this time. I've been buying more basics since the pandemic. I mixed a lot of yellow, just a little bit of phthalo blue to make a pretty green. And then I pulled some of that green out, some yellow out, a little bit of black to make an olive green. I'm using a 3/4 inch filbert brush from Royal and Langnickel. It's their Magenta line. Oh, yeah, that does focus better if I do that. And then I had a pretty background going before I lightened it up. You know, I don't know that it matters. You can do whatever you like. I am thinking, here I've got a printout of my titmouse. So I am kind of thinking that's sort of the shape of the bird, the leaves. I'm gonna probably adjust some of the leaves or paint them a little differently. The leaves kind of go here. This leads you in, that sort of thing. That's all I'm thinking. You could just paint a plain background too if you wanted. I'm going to let this dry for a while, and then I'm going to use this. I printed the photo out 5 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to use it as a traceable. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, let's stop for a second and I'll chat about what I'm thinking. My best thought, that makes me happy. So this is a new brush I pulled out. It's a number 4 from Royal and Langnickel. You can tell it's kind of cold in my studio. So it's brand new. It holds a point really nice. And I really like it, but it's thicker down here, so it'll hold some paint too. And I've been using it to put in, so I'm exaggerating, I'm gonna sidetrack here a little bit. I'm exaggerating a little bit where the light's coming from. I'm gonna have it coming from here. I think it's actually coming from, excuse me, from down here. So I'm putting this white in to remind me I want that bluer. I'm highlighting where the light's going to be on the leaves, and sometimes it needs a couple coats. Especially like I thin my paint out so it flows well. It just needs a little more paint. And if I paint out kind of the shape there I'm leaving, I can come back and put it in. Like I took a little green off camera and skinnied up this leg right in here. You really don't see it. So like that brush. And then the other things that I'm just doing and thinking, I think, I keep using this analogy until I find a better one. I'm finding the edges of the puzzle, and I'm also painting sort of back to front. So a lot of times I'll paint the branches first because the leaves go on top of it. A lot of times the bird's feet go on top of it, but the foot's hidden behind here. And I think it's kind of right here because I don't see it. And then I simplified the branches because in the reference photo, there's a tangle of branches here. Yeah, I think maybe that foot's right there. There's another leaf. I'm not going to worry about it. And I shortened up the leaves so they fit on the canvas better. But I just kind of talked about them a little bit, not a ton. So there's a little pinkish brown going into there, and then like a little knob or something, almost like we're looking straight on at it. And then I put in just some color to start the eye, beak. That's not really a mask, but it has a cute black above the beak. I like that. Putting in some of those colors. So finding puzzle pieces and finding edges. Okay, I think that gets us up to speed. Oh, I'm also using this 1/4" flat brush from Royal & Langnickel. It's older. It doesn't have the information on it anymore. I've gone through quite a few of these. Well, and then Artie that Emily made is just a really worn down one of those. Here, this one's kind of worn down, but now you can see that that one's really worn down. I mean, sometimes old brushes are great too. They can make fun marks. I think the only other thing we need to talk about is I made a yellow orange. I might brown it up, red it up, but there's some orange color here. And then I used some of that orange and then just mixed. A lot of times I just take Quinacridone yellow and a little bit of black because the black's really strong and make a brown. Okay guys, I think that gets us up to speed. I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, I don't think it's been that long in the time lapse, but this is the next day. I'm adding more layers to my Tufted Titmouse. I want to call it a nuthatch. I think I called it a nuthatch during the live last night. They're cute. They kind of have that cardinal tuft on them, which is really fun. And they have a little mask. I think they're really cute. Let's see, so layers are helping me. I'm kind of, I've lost the leg. I might want to work on that leg a little bit. Actually, what's kind of fun is I am exaggerating. I'm debating about whether I want to keep that. I think I might. I'm exaggerating some of what I see in the reference photo. So you see how white that is? That's great. It really helps you see the value change. Right there on the back side of this bird. But I'm also putting, and there's some right here. I think the light's coming from up above, but I'm kind of making the light come a little bit more from the side. So I'm just exaggerating that with straight up white, which is fun. I've almost got a lost edge there where the values are similar. And then I put that sort of spots of white or light here. I think it's okay. So basically I'm kind of moving you around the bird. I really should paint the leaves in. I painted a little background, which is, it always dries a little darker, just to add a little more detail. I might emphasize that one more time. The yellow glaze I did over here is really nice. And of course the eye and the face always commands your attention here. Maybe you want to see the eye. Maybe we'll do a little tour here. I think the eye is done. Yeah, that really, I think that's really popping. As I'm looking tippy toe, I'm on my tippy toes looking at the top of my phone. And I did paint a little bit over onto the side. I'm going for some drama, which is what that photo has. It's a great photo. Put in a couple little details with a feather going over the wing. But overall, it's fairly loose. I think I'm going to work on the leg and the leaves next. And with the leg, we could, of course, if it's everywhere, it's nowhere. And then I like these light white outlines. I might get myself in trouble here. And then going a little sideways kind of indicates some of those, I don't know, I want to call them wrinkles, but just little, I don't know if this bird actually has those. Roosters and chickens have them. You can really see sort of the, I don't know what to call it. You guys can help me in the comments. Like, what is that called? I'm just gonna make kind of a brownish, rusty color. Maybe help define the leg a little more. This, if I haven't mentioned it, is a number 4 round from Royal and Langnickel. It's a new brush. I really like it. It's holding a point nicely. That's a little better. You see the leg better. So red and green are complements. They're across each other on the color wheel. So my magenta and my yellow green kind of like complement cousins. Just they're hinting at complements. And so I'm thinking here, as long as we're painting a little real time, I don't know if I want to make a red. Let's maybe make a red. And then that should be fairly transparent because, I've mentioned this before, but in case you're new, the yellow, the box, that little box is half full. It's on the diagonal. So it's a semi-transparent color. Same with that one. So I think we'll get shadows built in. Oh, yeah. Just because it's gonna let some of that green show through. And sometimes and if it doesn't, if it's not as dark as I want, we can just play with it some more. I can come back with darker colors with some brown. Oops. This is a little 1/4-inch flat brush from Royal and Langnickel. I think it comes in a pack. The grippers are nice too. I like that. You can tell this is much older. It's got paint and it's kind of yellowed, whereas this gripper, I don't know if you, yeah, I think you can see it. This gripper's still kind of white, not as dirty. So I'm not going to paint every vein. Brush stroke, here I'm going to turn it since we're real time. A lot of times I did turn it in this video, but a lot of times I try not to, because in the time lapse I don't want to make you dizzy. Just brush stroke direction. It's easier to push up against an edge, which is why I turned it. Kind of leave the vein in there. Oh, I painted it out a little bit. I do. I like, we've got fun motion going here. And it's pretty simple. A little bit of motion there around the bird, motion coming in here. This motion kind of mimicking that leaf. This darker green swatch. I think that's fun. You don't have to do it, but it can be a kind of a subtle, you know, reflecting or mimicking, maybe might be a better word, of your subject. And some people don't even notice you're doing it, but it can help make the painting seem a little more dynamic too. Just stuff you might like. You don't have to do it. I'm gonna have to come back in and put that vein back in. Oops. Hopefully I didn't wiggle my camera there. So layers, if you like to paint in layers, can really help, because if I come back over it, it's going to be probably brighter. Kind of break up shapes, go slow. I'm trying to decide. I think this is a year-round bird in the United States. I think they'll hang out in the snow, so I'm kind of wondering if I want to put, even though this is kind of a fall painting, I could put a little snow on there too. I'm in the snow mood lately. I could probably need to stop and just let it dry. Okay guys, I'm going to time lapse some more and then I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, I'm calling it done. Where do I start? I'll start with what's bugging me. The eye is bugging me when I'm on top of it, because this eye, I made it more stronger, more contrast. This eye really doesn't have that. But when I step away from it, I like it. I like it. I really like the leaves, and I stopped. It's easy to overpaint them. Now I'm wondering if I needed to fuss with them more. But like I used a little straight up Quinacridone for the darker parts, which was fun. I really like them. I think they're fun. Here's something that might, you don't have to do any of the things I point out. I put a little yellow up here and glazed it just because these are so strong. I don't know if it did a darn thing. Well, the one thing it did do is I had yellow over here, so it kind of pulls that away. I think it's fine either way. You totally can overthink paintings. I do that all the time. But I also took a little of this limey green, some white, and some yellow, and put it, I don't see it in the reference photo, but put it on the wing as a glaze, put a little on the bird, and then I end up putting it over some of my white. So I almost lose this edge here, and then I put it in here, and I definitely lose the edge a little bit right there. And that can be a fun thing to play with. A lot of times I have an edgy painting. You see the entire edge of what of the bird in this example. Well, I also put a little up in here just to break that up a little bit. But it can be fun to lose some edges. Make them softer. I don't know if that's going to be the right color. I kind of forget about doing that sometimes. Just kind of push it. I don't know if you could see that. Just kind of push it back a little bit. I think that's kind of fun. I think that's about it as far as comments. You guys can let me know what you think. I'm tempted to put that back the way it was, or the way I had it a couple steps ago. Just, these are so strong, so it makes me nervous. And then it really doesn't matter. It's just a little painting of a bird. And we don't have to think that much about it. I'm just looking for a little bit lighter value. Just kind of swiping at it. Now I don't know if this has made any difference. The lighter value makes this darker edge stronger. I think I like that a little better. Leave the yellow over here. Totally just personal preference. We could even go a little lighter maybe. I like to paint thin and then build up my layers because it's easy to make changes. Okay, we'll see how that dries. I think I like having a little warmer over here by the face, just a little different. Okay, guys, let me know if you give this one a try. It's a great reference photo. You can see the strong lighting. You don't have to paint everything with strong, dramatic lighting. I think it's fun. You could paint it more in the same value range, like a middle value range, or a high key painting, meaning it has a lot of light values in it. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I hope some of my comments help. And I hope, sometimes I think one of the hardest things if you're newer to painting is learning to see and then learning to play. Because like as I was saying, I see the reflective light here, but you don't always have to paint the leaves I mean, you can paint the leaves exactly as you see them. That's a great way to do it. Or you can kind of play with it a little bit. That makes sense. Like I put a little more light up in here just because it's fun and you can get away with it. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. It's so fun for me to share my art journey with you, and you guys share your art journey with me in my Annie Troe Art Friends Facebook group. That's the best place if you want to show me your paintings. No pressure if that doesn't interest you. Couldn't do this without all your support. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.